Why do you always do that thing?
Do what?
That thing you do when you're fighting.
This thing that you do when you whip your hair when you're fighting with the arm and the hair.
Hi guys, it's Steph. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we are honoring Iron Man with a review of the one and only Black Widow, obviously. I really look forward to doing more reviews in the future, so if that's something that you want to see, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more film, acting, and entertainment related videos moving forward. Ready? Let's do this. So I do want to warn everyone, this review will contain some spoilers. So I'm going to start with a brief summary of the film. Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. Black Widow takes place between Civil War and Infinity War, and overall, I actually really enjoyed the film. At the end of this video, I'll reveal my final score for the movie, but for now, let's just go over a few key points. So the film opens in Ohio, in a flashback, and we get to meet these kids and their parents, and it turns out that the kids are Natasha and her younger sister. Not a biological sister, but they were raised as sisters. I think the director did a really good job setting up their sisterly bond in these early scenes, showing that even though they're not blood related, Natasha still feels protective over her younger sister and would put herself in danger in order to protect her. We flash forward to Natasha on the run after the events of Civil War. She's able to escape and finds herself in Budapest, where she meets up with her sister who she hasn't seen in years. They have a pretty epic fight scene where I'll go ahead and bring up the action. The action in this movie was great. There were few moments of peace between the action, which kind of kept things moving. The movie, even though it was over 2 hours, it never really felt slow because there was constantly something new happening. So this is sort of the turning point where Natasha's goal in the film is defined, and we kind of see where things are moving and we see like the direction that the film is going in. After the girls get together, we add Lexi and Melina into the mix. The best thing this film has going for it is the actors. It's this family aspect, specifically Yelena and Alexei, played by Florence, Pugh, and David Harbour. Both of these actors pulled off their roles so well. They brought a comedic flair, but they both did really well in their action scenes, in the scenes where they had to be serious and sentimental and nostalgic. This is definitely Scarlett Johansson's best film playing Natasha. She's been doing it for a decade now, so she kind of has that character down pat. But if we're looking at standouts and scene stealers, that's definitely going to go to Florence as well as David. They were excellent in this movie, and I was laughing out loud at multiple lines that they both had.
Ugh, that was disgusting.
In comparison to other female-led Marvel movies, how many of those are there? Captain Marvel. This is definitely better than Captain Marvel. The one thing that this movie does well is it lets the females lead without it being corny or cheesy or annoying or exhausting. Because sometimes it just feels like when Marvel specifically tries to feature females, it always comes off so cringy and like they're trying way too hard when things should just be natural, and that's what they are in this movie. Is they're natural, and there might be like a cheesy line here or there, but that comes with all movies, whether you're male or female. Is this too little too late? Yes and no. I'm excited and thankful that they did make this movie. I think they needed to. I don't think it would have been fair if they didn't. However, I do think that it came at a point where it's like why now? This movie, as good as it is, if you just remove it completely from, the lineup, does it affect Marvel movies moving forward? does it really affect anything? Or was it just filling in the blanks and the gaps for the audience and questions that we wanted answered? So it does kind of feel a little bit like a throwaway in the way of they were just like, okay, well, you are begging for it, so here you go, let's just push it out. So there's definitely unrealized potential. There's definitely things they could have done with this movie had they thought it through better. I'm not really sure where the ball was dropped here, but it had potential that was not necessarily realized. It definitely felt like certain things were rushed. Not that the movie itself was rushed or that it feels rushed, but that it was rushed in just throwing it out to the audience. I don't know. Tell me in the comments how you feel about that. Was it too little too late? So I've already mentioned spoilers, but I am going to just mention really quick, I'm about to discuss something that if you have not seen this movie, if you have not seen the after credits scene, maybe check that out before proceeding in the next part of this video. So when you watch the after credits scene in Black Widow, for me, what I take from that is that they are potentially hinting that Yelena could be a part of the Dark Avengers, maybe? The after credits scene also shows us that Yelena is most likely showing up in the Hawkeye series, which gives us yet another reason to check it out when it finally airs. Here are a couple just general good things about this film. Their correction of the pronunciation of the name Budapest. I really liked how they're correcting themselves while at the same time educating their audience. I think the director did a really good job connecting a lot of old dots and filling in a lot of those blanks that we were wondering about, but again, did they really set up any new content? We have a few little Easter eggs moving forward and things we have to look forward to, but they're not necessarily mysteries, they're not necessarily big plot points, big setups. Everything's kind of up in the air, so we'll definitely have to see moving forward. Here's something that's a spoiler for the Loki series. If you have not seen the Loki series, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, go watch it on Disney Plus and then come back and watch this video. The season finale of the Loki series proves that we are in the multiverse. It proves that there are variants, there are different versions of all of these different characters, which opens up the possibility that Natasha could return, that Iron Man could return. That would be... I don't see that happening with Robert Downey Jr., but we can dream. I liked the humor in the film. I really liked the white suits. It was perfect camouflage in the snow, so it made sense. It all worked together, and it was just a really cool new look for Black Widow. We've only seen her in darker suits, so to show her in something that's complete opposite was pretty cool. Okay, now some of the things that maybe I didn't like so much. It did have some original ideas, but for the most part, there wasn't anything crazy innovative about the movie. There wasn't anything that we haven't really seen before, so that part was a little bit lacking. I know a lot of people are very disappointed with how they handled the Taskmaster character. In the comics, this is supposed to be a really, really strong, intense character with a lot of like specific traits, and they kind of reduced it down to the same treatment that they gave Ryan Reynolds' original Deadpool character back in the Wolverine movie. So this... yeah, definitely disappointing. I like the fact that they made the character a female, but they completely fumbled it in execution. They didn't let her speak. They didn't really give a personality to the character. It's basically just this history between Natasha and this little girl that she thought she killed a long time ago. Another thing that I wasn't crazy about was kind of how I was saying, like, it's not that original, it's just the plot itself, the conflict, like the fact that the mind control, it just kind of seems a little basic, and then the fact that they can't kill the director because of this pheromone, and it's not the best idea, and then it kind of produces this cheesy line, and I don't even know if I need to actually say it in here. If you've seen the movie, then you'll know. I mean, sever the nerve. I don't know. I laughed, but I know it's not really supposed to be funny. Maybe it was. I did laugh. If it was supposed to be funny, I guess they got a laugh out of me. I don't know. So for me, the weakest part of the movie would be just like the overall story, the overall plot, the structure of how they kind of worked everything out. Whereas the highest point, like the highest rating for me is gonna be, you know, the action, the stunts, the effects were good, you know, the scene where she's flying through the air and they're fighting in midair, that was all great, you know, no complaints there. I enjoyed it. Everything was action-packed. I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it. I was anxious for parts of it. There were moments where, you know, I was nervous, but here's where it goes to the negative side. You need stakes in a movie. You need there to be risk. You need there to be some type of fear that is induced for the main character, for the main character's safety. Unfortunately, there's not that in Black Widow because we all know Natasha's fate. We know what happens to her down the road. So there is not any risk of her character dying. There is no real danger that her character is in because we all know what happens to her character. So that's kind of the one thing that it lacks there is, you know, stakes. But if you kind of push all of that aside and you don't really worry about that, it is a good movie. It's great entertainment. It's good. If you like Black Widow, I believe you will enjoy this movie. Comment down below and let me know what you would score this movie out of 100. And in just a moment, I will let you know what I've scored this movie out of 100. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. While it didn't fully live up to the potential that I was hoping it would, it was still pure entertainment to me and got to highlight a character that I obviously love. So for me, in the end, it was a win. Now, when it comes to an actual score, I'm going to give Black Widow an 81. Thank you so much for watching my review of Black Widow. If you agree or disagree with anything that I said in this video, go ahead and comment down below and let me know why. The next movie I plan to review is M. Night Shyamalan's Old. If there's a specific movie that you'd like to have me review, whether it's new, upcoming, or a classic movie that's already come out, go ahead and let me know that in the comments as well, because I would love to give you exactly what you're looking for. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more film, acting, and entertainment related videos every single week. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Toulouse, you can't be there. You're in the film. Ah, Booba! You're not allowed to touch the lens.